Hi everyone. This is an introductory video on how to get started using Sage Mathcloud. In this video we'll talk about how you can create an account and show you how to create a project and then log into that project to use it to do some basic operations with Python. We'll then explore Sage Mathcloud features and Python notebooks, Jupyter notebooks in later videos. So the first thing to do is to go to the Sage Mathcloud website. You can just find this in Google by searching for Cloud Sage Math. You want the website cloud.sagemath.com. And if you have not signed in before, then you will see this main page here where you can choose to enter your email address and sign into an existing account or create a new account with Facebook, GitHub, Google, or Twitter. Here I'll create a manual account using my WSU email address, and I recommend you do this for your courses. Please follow along in this video, pause it as necessary, and create your own account and log in now. The first time you log in, you will see this project page. If you don't manually log out, then this is where you will come when you visit the Sage Mathcloud server. It will automatically log you in until you log out. It remembers with some cookies. If you clear your cookies, it will probably log you out too. All right. We're now looking at our projects. We don't have any, so the first thing we will do is create a new project. Give the project a title. Give it a description so you remember in the future what it was. And create the project without upgrades. If you pay for an account, as you can do down here, then you get much more functionality. For example, internet access, as well as extra memory, extra something called idle timeout, so the computer doesn't stop running, etc. We will give you some of this for the class. So once you sign up and are registered as part of the class, you will get some upgrades. You can always purchase them yourself at a later time if you'd like this, or you can keep working on the free servers without the upgrades. For now, we will create a project without upgrades. All right, now we see in our projects list that there's a project called Demo that we just created and that I'm using that. Now we can go into that project. This will take a little bit of time because it has to start a virtual computer on the cloud. So the way that Sage Mathcloud works, when you start a project, it spawns a computer, a virtual computer, somewhere on Google or Amazon servers. That computer is essentially acting like a Linux box that you then have control over. It also runs a web server that runs Jupyter notebooks and other features, and that's what you're looking at right now through your browser. In later videos, we'll discuss how you can SSH into that and use it as a remote Linux computer for compiling code, running code, etc. But for now, we'll just deal with the web interface to this computer. What I just want to explain is that this computer does need some time to start up, and so when you first open a project, you may have to wait on this page a little bit, and you may have to reload the page in your browser. I'm going to do that right now until it signs me in and loads this page and has the server running. Now if I go back to my projects up here in the top left, I can see that that is now running, and then when I go to a running project, it should open up fairly quickly. When you're using a free server without internet access, then your project might stop running at any time if the servers get overloaded. One of the advantages of paying is that your project will keep running for at least an hour or longer depending on how much upgrade you give to each individual project. However, despite that, you can still get a lot of work done with the free server. All right. Finally, I'll show you how to create a Jupyter notebook, which is the primary type of file that we'll be using. I will go over more features later on, but for now, let's just create a notebook. So I go up to this Create button. I type the name. Call it Demo Notebook. And I want a Jupyter notebook down here. We'll come back and discuss some of the other options later. This will take a few minutes, a few seconds to start the notebook up. And now the notebook is running. This is a Jupyter notebook. So, used to be called IPython notebooks. Now they're called Jupyter because they can run many more languages. And this notebook is simply a collection of cells. It's modeled after Mathematica. And so you can execute commands here, for example, 1 plus 1. Now in order to run that command, I go Shift-Enter, or I click the button up here. Shift-Enter is the faster way to do it. And the output is 2, which I can see down here. This is just IPython, so it's Python with a special interface, and you can do anything you can in the Python language. To be specific, we're running Python 2 with a bunch of packages related to Sage installed. This is called the kernel. You can change the kernel up here. And I recommend, if you don't need it, that you go to a Python 3 version, because that is the latest version of Python now. It has a lot more features, and that will be the Python of the future. So unless you have a reason to use Python 2, I recommend you start doing things with Python 3. We've changed the kernel. Now I will refresh the notebook up here. Sometimes that's necessary. You may also need to refresh your web page. Remember, this is connecting to a computer on another server, on Google or something. And so occasionally there will be some network issues and you may need to restart or refresh the page. That's how you can do it. So for some reason my network was not connecting properly here, so I had to rechange the kernel back to Anaconda Python 3. Now it's ready to go and I can do things. Alright, that's basically how to start an IPython notebook, or a Jupyter notebook as they're now called, on a Sage Mathcloud project. You can create many more projects if you like, and log into them. You can also create many files in a particular project. When you're finished, if you want to log out, you go up to the settings window here. This is your personal account, and you can sign out here, or you can sign out on all computers. Now we've signed out, computer is ready for logging into another account or for someone else to use. So that's basically how to use Sage Mathcloud. We'll talk about more features about that in the future.